It is a month before patch 1.1.
Yes.
Dread, buddy,
Mm-hmm.
pal, friendo, bucko, bruh.
Yeah, what's up?
What's going on?
Oh, I just got back from Chicago, like I said. We got a lot of. The main reason we went there is because my wife turned vegan a few months ago, and the area that we live in does not have that many options, at least for
Gotcha,
actual
gotcha.
like food. We went to Chicago since they seem to have a lot more options, which they did,
It's true.
and we did a lot of other things.
And you
It
had
was
your
a
one
very
year
good
wedding
time.
celebration, wedding
Hmm.
anniversary.
We
That's
did it
good.
early because, like, it was more convenient
Well, you
around
did it
this
early
time.
just in case, you know.
Yeah. Well, we did it early because it was just convenient.
Uh, okay. So, I floated some ideas to you about potentially rebranding, and we started talking a little bit about like last epoch stuff, and I figured this is a wonderful time to just click record, catch up, and see what you're up to. So you're looking forward to a patch in last epoch that lasts more than 2 days.
Hmm.
Go on.
Oh, I was being dumb because,
Hmm.
like, if you don't know, if you're not, I'm sure you know,
I
obviously.
know, but for the people in the audience, how about you tell them?
If you don't know, Ellie, they delayed their patch, but Path of Exile also delayed their patch as
Mm.
well. And if you don't know, they're gonna be happening in like maybe like 2 weeks of each other. Now, like that's it's not good. I will say it's not a very good thing to happen for a lot of different reasons. But for specifically for people like Perry and I, right? We kind of live or die on the game, considering specifically like that's our thing. That's what we
Hmm.
do. I make Ellie content. I know you do too. It's what we do here, right? And the problem is like well, if PoE has a patch, it's like a few weeks after LE, then LE's going to get kind of dumpstered on. And
Hmm.
why is that? Well, that's because there's an insane amount of overlap between people who play Last Epoch and play Path of Exile.
And
How do I
I
know
think
this?
ideally last epoch
Yeah,
said that they want to be like totally staggered. It's like a month and a half
yeah,
difference.
yeah. That was what was supposed to
Uh
happen,
huh.
but then Path of Exile 2 kind of entered the mix, and then it kind of like mixed everything up.
Hmm.
Let's put it like that. Like I said, they delayed their patch, so that means that like essentially we're gonna have like 2 weeks of LE, and then like it's gonna happen how I usually. The joke I make usually about this is everyone collectively forgets that Last Epoch exists and moves on for a little bit, and then I just take a vacation while I wait. But
Hmm.
the problem is like this is actually kind of becoming more consistent of a thing, a problem in general, where like I've been taking longer and longer vacations in between patches. Like, I'll be honest with you, I've actually spent more time waiting for a Last Epoch patch in the past 2 years than actually playing Last
Can I
Epoch. And
read that thing? So you posted something on YouTube recently, and I read it. I read your
mm,
community post, and I was like, damn. Like, I mean, it's right. It's kind of sad, you know. It's kind of a sad post, but I'm gonna read it anyways. Let's see. Let's see. Dread YouTube. Let's see, what's your YouTube channel called? Where are you at?
it's funny because I'm
Dreadful.
actually playing Ellie right now. I found so there's an interaction. So you know the node in Infernal Shade that makes it pop after its duration.
I'm aware of it. Yeah,
So after you kill an enemy that has Infernal Shade on it, the
yeah. Mm-hmm.
Infernal Shade will pop. But apparently, this behavior also applies to minions if you apply Infernal Shade to minions. So
Okay.
if you summon two zombies and one zombie puts an Infernal Shade on the other, and then the zombie dies because, these suicide bombs, right? It
Mm-hmm.
will pop the Infernal Shade early. So now you just summon zombies and they pop the Infernal Shades for you automatically. And it's like absolutely fucking amazing.
I just I want to point out that we're like totally right smack in the dead period of Last Epoch. The Twitch channel or the Twitch directory for Last Epoch before I started playing today was like 12 people. I think it was 12 people.
I know.
It's like
Oh, yeah.
no, and like you and I are just like sitting here like, man, I really wish there was any reason to play Last Epoch. I'm gonna play it anyways, but I wish there was a reason to play it.
Well, I mean, so like the thing is, it's like I do this as a passion. Obviously, I play it for fun, and I'm also preparing for next patch. You know, the 2 weeks that we'll have
Sure.
before everyone goes on vacation again. But like, it's like I always like playing Ellie. It's just like I said, I just don't have the time to play. Like, essentially, it's getting to the point where like I can't do this as like I've been wanting to do this as a career for a while now, to be honest.
You mean
I
like
know
Last
you know
Epoch or
this.
like content creation?
Both,
Okay.
I guess, in general, but
Mm-hmm.
it is really getting to the point where like I can't really like justify it anymore. I thought it would get better after 1.0, but specifically with this delay, it's kind of showing to me that I can't really trust the cycles anymore. I can't like trust patches to come out in a time frame because like with the way that content works for ARPGs specifically that I've noticed over the past 4 years is like there's a really big burst and then there's dead time in between,
Mm-hmm.
which is like normally fine and all, don't get me wrong, but it's very bad for making content. Like
For sure.
someone actually pointed this out in the comment of that community post, like making content for LE kind of sucks sometimes.
It does.
Like not because like I'm not having fun making it, but because like, you know, what's the point in making content when like no one's watching it, obviously.
Right.
And that's just like, you know, and it's like, well, you should make it because you're passionate about it. Well, yeah, but I am also married. I, you know,
I
eventually
want to keep my lights on. I want to buy
I want to keep my
groceries.
lights on. I want to go buy groceries. Like my wife wants to become a professional dog walker. To do that, we need to move to a bigger city. Like, and that means I need to go make money. And I'll be honest, like, if it doesn't like start actually picking up and fixing itself, I might have to actually just quit.
Oh shit.
At least full time, anyways,
Mm-hmm.
or work somewhere else. Like I actually was looking into it. I was looking into editing work because I do have now 4 years of experience with editing
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that. So I could easily make money from that. I actually looked into it. The margins are pretty huge on that, considering the amount of time put into it because of how good I am at my job now.
Ooh.
But it's just like, you know, like I'll be honest, like it's not looking good, man.
So let me read this community post because
Go ahead.
I've read it twice and I've read it to other
Mhm.
people, and it's like this. It's a little bit sad,
Mhm.
but I think you got a really good point. So you said, I'm just gonna read it. You said, so the date for the next Last Debug patch has been confirmed for July 9th, which is true. I know I'm a little late on this, but that's because as soon as I saw the update, I was a little bit bummed because if we are to bring a tally here, you had a 1 year wait for multiplayer when there was a big lull. You had a 6 month wait for 1.0 where there was a big lull in the action. And now another 5 months to wait for 1.1. You said, this means that I've officially spent more time waiting for a Last Epoch patch than actually playing a Last Epoch patch. It looks very grim indeed. And even as someone who loves the game, wants it to thrive, it's looking very dim. This means there has to be another pause in Last Epoch related content on this YouTube channel. And as the D4 channel starts in about a day or two, we'll see how long that lasts. I don't plan on playing it, but whatever. As someone who loves Last Epoch, it's unfortunate to wake up being told you're essentially out of work for another 2 months. I have no idea what I'll end up doing in the meantime. Maybe Path of Exile, maybe some other game. No clue at this point. I'm getting a little exhausted at the hurry up and wait game. I actually recently picked up another editing gig. We just talked about that. When the D4 season ends, I might boot up some solo character found or something in Last Epoch, but who knows?
You cut out there heavily.
I'm still recording it. It's fine. I
Okay.
see that my
No, you're
stream
good.
my stream hiccuped for like a minute, but I'm gonna finish this up.
Okay.
Or not a minute, like a second.
Hmm.
This has been the closest I've ever been to straight up quitting and working on other non-Last Epoch projects. I have a very small smidgen of hope for the future, but we'll see what that develops into. Yeah, that was, and yeah, I mean, so my lights and my groceries don't depend on Last Epoch,
Mhm.
but
Mine don't
there's
either,
people,
thankfully.
but like there's people who do, and there's people who want to be in that state, right? Like there's people who make like plenty of living based off of like Path of Exile, right? And there's it's consistency. It's been around for over 10 years. They have a future of what to look forward to. They have lots of
Well, generally, the reason why it works over in PoE land is because the audience is big enough so that when there is a big bump, it pays for the next few months.
Yep.
LE, it's not necessarily the case currently, which is, like I
It's
said,
a little baby
the fact I
video
can
game
even,
compared.
the fact I can even do well while playing this is great. Don't
Yeah.
get me wrong, but at the same time, like I want to actually do this as a career, but I also don't want to spend the next 4 years doing this and have it be in the same exact spot it was. So let me put it into perspective, okay?
Gotcha.
I was fucking around and I was bored, okay? I made like 2 Solaris videos on a separate channel, and they're doing just about as well as my current LE content is doing right now when I like upload. That is very unfortunate.
I don't know what Solaris
Remember,
is.
I've been doing this for 4 years, so
Is Solaris like a small indie game or something?
no, it's like a Paradox interactive game. Do you know like Crusader Kings or like whatever?
Yeah,
It's
I know
like,
that.
Or
Okay.
Civ 6 or whatever. It's like the space version of it.
Gotcha.
It has a decent audience, but it's just, I think the problem is just the way ARPGs and people consume ARPG content in general. It's very heavily weighted, and it's like living next to the Nile River. You got the droughts and you got the the.
That's a reference that I wasn't planning on hearing today, but here we are. Got it. Yeah. No, totally. I understand.
And it's like, I actually right now, if you don't know, I actually manage the YouTube channel of 2 people right now who are making Path of Exile content. So
Okay.
I won't suffer financially if LE does awfully or anything like that, but I will suffer spiritually.
True. True. I remember talking to other content creators like before 0.9, I guess. It's like before multiplayer, before Rune Master stuff came out, and I like to think of myself as a pretty easygoing, carefree person. But I was like, if Last Epoch doesn't work well, I mean, I'll just go stream something else. It's no big deal. Like I like Last Epoch a lot, but I'll just go play some other game. I'll find another niche. And like the people that I was talking to, definitely did not feel the same way. They were basically saying like, I'm putting all my eggs in the basket of Last Epoch, and if it doesn't do well, I'm just not going to be a content creator anymore. And like that is, it's kind of wild.
Yeah. Thankfully, I have gotten a lot of experience when it comes to YouTube and editing over the past 4 years. So like, if I really need to restart over in this regard, it would be very easy to do so. But at the same time, that would be throwing 4 years of work away. So I would prefer not to do that.
You can still reference like what happened to Last Epoch, right? It's like
I mean, like, what I mean is like the work that I've done in terms of like editing and stuff like that, right?
Sure, okay.
Like and YouTube,
like that carryover experience.
Like
but like as a content creator, you have experience building a community. You have experience working with brands. You have experience with all kinds of stuff that isn't necessarily just sitting in front of a camera.
Yeah. It varies like a lot of different tricks of the trade.
True.
But like I said, I love Ellie and all, but like I'm gonna be honest, I'm very disliking the current direction things are going, and a lot of different avenues as well. It's not like as if it's just one little thing; it's like multiple things.
Yeah, but Infernal Shade.
Oh, Infernal Shade's been great. Like it's like funny. I'll like talk about all these negative things, but then like I'll be like, oh yeah, by the way, Infernal Shade's great.
Fucking slaps, dude.
Yeah. Well, the thing is like people don't understand is like whenever I bring up these negative things, it's like when you like go to your significant other and bring up something that's been bothering you for a while. Yeah. You're not doing it out of malice or hatred or whatever.
Yeah, you're doing it to process
out of love, you know.
True enough.
Like for instance, like recently I made that community post.
Yeah.
Right. There was a few people chiding me for that. It's like, oh, why are you so negative all the time? It's like, dude, I've probably played more Last Epoch in the last month than you've spent the whole time playing Last Epoch. Like, shut up. Shut up. Like, just because I'm not making that many videos right now, or I'm not streaming, does not mean I'm not playing the game. Like, I still love the game. I'm still working on things. I have things down the pipeline that I plan on releasing for the 2 weeks of existence that next patch will exist for. Hopefully a little bit longer, but we'll see. But like, still, like, I just because like, you know, gloom and doom, yada yada yada, that doesn't mean the game's over yet. It just means that like my experience with it might be over in general. Because I actually explained it to the wife when I brought it up. Essentially, I mean, the game itself is in a position where they could probably go for the next year, not release an update and still do fine, mainly because they've sold enough copies that they
God,
can
that'd be
financially sustain
terrible.
themselves. Oh, it would be terrible for us, but it wouldn't be terrible necessarily terrible for them. So, like for instance, the Solarmancer dev guy,
Yeah.
he
The
made
two
enough
people, yeah.
money off of his initial early access thing to like essentially like keep making the game for like forever. Like he could keep going forever. Like they make enough money on these kind of things that they could keep they don't have to release constant
Mm-hmm.
updates, right? That's why they feel comfortable in making these, right? But the problem is like they have the ability to do that. And then but I don't have the ability to do that. I
Mm-hmm.
can't take that kind of break anymore. Like I can't keep doing that. If I want to keep, actually legitimizing my work here. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do that. And it's like, well, the question is like, well, if doesn't that mean all the content people will quit? Like, yeah, the people who hardline LE, but like a lot of the people who watch LE content these days are watching like the people who play it for like 5 minutes and play with like 40k ward and say that's normal, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like as if I am like ooh like just because it's not like as if I'm like making the game float or whatever something stupid
Yeah,
people are thinking, right?
I've had once Last Epoch comes back into the limelight and we get some posts and some news and some new players
Mm.
back in Twitch chat and YouTube chat.
Well,
It's
the
like
problem is it's going to be for like 2 weeks,
right,
at
but like
most,
once
so.
that happens, I'll have to be more polite.
Mm-hmm.
But right
Oh.
now, I've had some people in Twitch chat who are like, yeah,
Oh, I
shit up.
know.
But I've had people in Twitch chat saying like, yeah, Shadow Daggers suck. I'm like, you're
I know.
absolutely
Dude,
delusional.
I want to play Shadow Daggers right now, but my problem is it would require me to play a Falconer, and I'm petitioning Falconer until they change it.
Good.
So
Hopefully
I'm not playing
1.1.
it until they touch it.
My someone says,
I
in what
will not.
world can Shadow
I will not
Daggers suck?
reward.
Shadow Daggers suck because they don't generate 100,000 ward and they're not melee trap detonating arrow.
Or they're not deleting bosses with
Yeah.
dive bomb.
Yeah. So like
Essentially Falconer. Like the Falcon, you could be a full like Shadow Dagger build, and your Falcon would start probably still do more damage than your Shadow Daggers.
I like Shadow Daggers are dumb and I wish I could personally change them. I would change all kinds of stuff about them.
I'll be honest, in this day and age, I think they're much closer than they're much closer now than
Oh yeah.
than they used to be in terms
What
of
if you
balance.
were going to change one singular thing about Shadow Daggers? What would you change about them?
I
So
would
hold
just
on.
change the numbers. That's all they need.
Well,
They just need
yeah,
the
but
numbers
the
changed.
EHG doesn't change numbers. EHG makes things harder, right? So the whole
Yeah.
history, save for like one patch recently, which like nerfed some of the damage effectiveness of Shadow Daggers, their whole history has been like
You say that, but they made Falconer pretty fucking easy though, if you think about it.
they did, but they've made Shadow Daggers harder to apply. Remember, they like the smoke bomb
Yeah.
change, right?
I can't wait for all the people who are playing Rune Master play like next match and they like do they play with their Flame Rush and it doesn't cast their Runic Invocation anymore for them because it's on internal cooldown and they like go and make a bug report about it.
Oh,
I
is
think
that a
it'll be
thing? Does it
very
not cast
entertaining.
anymore?
Oh no, so I mean Amarathi talked about it. Remember that the cooldown things were like procs respect cooldowns. Remember that?
Oh, sure. Yeah,
that will
EHG
affect
said they
Flame
wanted to be
Rush,
more
yeah.
consistent about that.
That will kill Plasma Orb. That will kill every single Runic Invocation except for Raywinds. That will literally kill every single Runic Invocation except for Raywinds. And then they'll really have to do something.
Yeah, and then they'll just nerf Rowan's Frostguard as well. Finally.
Yeah. I mean, the problem is like, do you really think I'm going to stop and get hit by like a Osprix to cast my Cold Fire Cold or whatever manually? Do you really think I'm going to do that? I'm not going to do that.
I would not like it.
Frostclaw. I'm just going to play Frostclaw.
No, they're gonna nerf Frostclaw for sure.
I mean, yeah, but then I'll just play X whatever mage skill that's pretty good because Raywin's Frostguard is pretty good on any. It's like and like Ridmaster's passive tree is so strong it could carry a lot of things. Like I could just go play Lightning Blast. It would be very hard for them to like make Ridmaster unplayable. It would be very very hard because
Well, that certainly shouldn't be their goal either.
Thing. Well, the best, I agree, but it seems like it's been their goal of late. But it's really cool though, because like the passive tree is so overtuned for Rune
It's
Master,
so good.
like you could take Runic Invocation off your bar and still have a really good mastery. It's better than Forge Guard. So
Okay, so you wanna talk a little bit
Mhm.
about stuff for the future?
for the future, well,
Yeah.
we're gonna
For
play
patch
the
1.1,
next
I mean?
patch, and depending on how well it goes, hopefully it'll be a bug-free patch. But that's
There's
actually
no
coping.
fucking way it'll be a
That's
bug-free
actual
patch.
copium at this point.
All right, go on, go
But
on.
like, we'll see how well it goes. But if it really is what I think it is, and it's a 2 week patch, like I think I have to go and do other things. I
Hmm.
legitimately have to go and do that. Like,
So if
I
you're
won't quit, but I'm gonna like just essentially go and do other things and like play when the game's actually out and people are actually around. We'll see. I'll play it seasonally instead of all the time like I usually do.
I think that's fine.
I
That's
think
like
it's fine
that's a good
too.
healthy thing, right?
It is, except unless you're making content, then it's a very unhealthy thing to do.
Really.
Well,
I
yeah,
would
because
have thought that like making content for Last Epoch for a month and then like vibing somewhere else for 2 months.
so YouTube really does not enjoy it when you try to do multiple things.
Oh, your actual
It's
boss.
more of the YouTube stuff.
Your
Yeah,
actual
it's
boss,
more of
yeah.
the YouTube related stuff. Yeah. My actual boss, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, like that's who doesn't like it. And it's like, well, at that point, like I'll be honest, like I might just play the game at that point. It's just
you
like,
might just play it,
yeah, I
but
just play it.
and like not make content for it or what?
I mean, I might stream or whatever, but like I said, it's getting like I'm getting to like it's not even like a pressure from like the game or anything
Yeah.
like that. In theory, like it'll fix itself in 2 years, but I don't have 2 years. I need to start actually building up a real career instead of just
Uh-huh.
a fancy play video games all day career. Like don't get me
Oh.
wrong, like it's fun and all to do this, but I like I was like it's been 4 years, and I've given it enough time to grow and nurture, right?
Uh-huh.
And it's definitely not showing the ability to do so. Considering, like I said, if we were getting a patch every 3 months, like we were supposed to be doing or whatever, right? I think it would be fine by now. But because of how many delays it's happened, like I think it's actually killed the initial hype of the game so down that like the game will do fine and all, but it's not going to be good enough to like it's not going to be big enough to like actually support enough like of an audience
The
for it to
fact
matter.
that after 1.0 they did a 4 month instead of a 3 month is wild. Like, come on, man, just fucking commit. Just make the
Well,
3 month happen.
I mean, with how bugged like 1.0 was, like like and lacking of content technically, like I don't know what else they were supposed to do. It was kind of their hands were kind of tied.
Consistency is so important, though.
I know consistency, especially in
Are
this
they
day
gonna do
and
4 month
age.
cycles? So
I
here's
mean,
the thing, like
if that's what they began with,
for
that'd be
GGG
fine.
and Path of Exile, like they've often come under pressure saying that 3 month cycles are unsustainable for them because
Yeah.
the player base rightly, they feel like a QA test for like the first,
Yeah,
1 week or
I
2 week of the
agree.
league. And like I'm saying I want 3 month cycles in Last Epoch, but at the same time I'm completely aware that 3 month cycles are even unsustainable for PoE. So like,
Well, okay. The problem is okay. The problem is the genre of video game we're playing. I think it might just like it just I don't know. Like I've played other games now and I've like looked into like content for other games and stuff like
mm-hmm.
that. This is an ARPG problem. It's just content for ARPG sucks in general. There's
When you
just
say
no
content, you
way.
mean like the videos that people are making?
Oh no, just like when the audience is there, like for instance, like like don't get me wrong, like for instance, just like a good example here, okay, was I recently finished the Stygian Cole Warlock setup I was playing with the
Mm-hmm.
Damned, and it has like insane clear. It's like the Lich one, but better. You have less single target, like by a smidgen, but your clear isn't absolute monka aids, because you have proliferation from Mark of the Rat from freaking profane whatever it's called. Fuck at
Profane
this
Veil,
point,
sure.
yeah, profane Vel, right? But I literally didn't release it because I'm like, well, I could release it later when
Yeah,
people
who's
are
gonna
actually
watch it?
watching
Why
content.
would you
Yeah,
release that video right
yeah.
now?
Yeah, I could release that later and then
God,
complain when
YouTube's
Stitch and
brutal
Cole
like
gets
that, isn't
nerfed.
it?
Yeah, and it's like
Yeah.
people have been asking like, "Where's the second video for it? Where's the second video for it?" And it's
Well,
like,
like all
well,
1,000 people are gonna watch it. You know what I mean?
yeah. And like I said, I've still been making content through it. Like it's weird because like I'm still playing, I'm still making content and all that, but at the same time, like I said, I'm doing it out of love. I'm not doing it out of
Yeah.
financial like well-being. Like there's been a lot of people that be like, oh, you know, your Lamborghini, yada yada yada. I'm like, dude, like this has been like, I'll be honest, like focusing on LE like this has actually like ruined my actual career like for the next like 10 years. Like if I focus the amount of effort and like work that I put into LE into like actual other things that actually make currency or whatever in a sustainable way or whatever, right? I would probably own a home, I'd have a car, I'd have like people don't understand how much time and effort this has taken to get to this point for it to peter out so bad because we've had like 5 delays in a row.
What about stuff like Grim Dawn that has like a big community scene for it, like community mods and community events? Like, would that kind of thing be enough
No,
to
no,
buffer Last Epoch up?
no. It's like the problem becomes if you want to like the best way to play Last Epoch is to play Path of Exile and then wait for a Last Epoch patch. That is
Brutal.
currently the best way of playing Last Epoch currently because all of your audience is overlapped. So you can just play your Last Epoch or whatever when like, you know, it comes around and then like play like literally what's gonna happen is all the people who like play PoE or whatever are gonna come play Last Epoch for like 5 days or to a week.
Mm-hmm.
Then like the patch notes and stuff are going to drop for LE, and then everyone's going to go leave, which is completely understandable. They want to go
Patch that's
play
gonna
Path
drop
of
for Path of
Exile.
Exile. Yeah.
Yeah, they're going to go
Yeah.
play Path of Exile, which is completely understandable. But
Yeah.
it sucks for people that actually, you know, want to make content for Last Epoch. Yeah.
And not just play one build, 100,000 ward,
Mm,
done.
yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
I want to play the weird stuff.
Yeah.
I wanna
I
dig at the
mean,
bottom
like I
of the.
said, I think it'll be fine. Just maybe a year from now when they actually, you know, finish the content that they were supposed to finish a year ago.
Like when they had the campaign done, and when they finished buffing
Mm,
Forge Guard and Sorcerer and Shaman and Marksman, and when we have Endgame, the Pinnacle
mm.
bosses, and the system for socketing gems into your skills. Oh
Yeah.
my
Like I
god.
said, the thing is, like I said before, they have the ability to wait it out. They can they got all the time in the world. They don't got to worry about a thing, right? But the problem is like when they finally get to the point, like the people who will be covering the game will probably be completely different.
Oh, that's
Hey
kind of sad.
guys, Riker here.
It's kind of sad. It's funny. One of the people in Twitch chat right now is Additional Baker, and Baker used to run tournaments as well. He's kind of
Hmm.
like an OG content creator for the game, and like if you're new, like you'd have no idea, right? He's like a big name,
I
did
know who
races, did
Baker is,
competitive
yeah.
events. Yeah, like you know who he is, but like some new person is just like, who the fuck is Baker? I've never seen that name before. It's like, well, he's kind of moved on, hasn't he? Just like doing other stuff instead.
Well, I think that's really just the lifeblood of these kind of games. You just have people move on and come play it when they can, and then you know that's the best thing about being a box price game is the person can buy the game and play it for a week and eat. She's definitely made enough money for them to
Mm-hmm.
sustain themselves. They don't need to like the people play for longer. That's actually the benefit of being a buy to play game versus a free to play game in that regard.
Mm. They spend the money up front, and then it's like, well, I don't care how long you play. I've
Yeah.
already got your money. Yeah. Interesting. Interesting stuff. Let's you want to end on a high note? Is he gone? Dread? Did Dread fucking disappear? Dread! Dread, come back!
Sorry about that. I
Uh,
was being asked what food I wanted.
I'm sorry. Like, oh, Dread, you want to end on a high note?
Yeah,
Dead.
we can end on a high note.
Dead.
What's that? Well, the
um,
thing is like they got enough money from all the IGN reviewers that played the game for 5 minutes and then made like a 2 hour long like video about it. Like they don't need they
uh,
don't need money at this point. They're fine.
but I want more. I want them to fix this. I've got so many builds that I want to play that are all just bugged.
I mean, I do too. It's just I'm just being realistic about the situation.
Yeah. So let me ask you about 1.1, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And remember, we're not on your YouTube channel, so you don't have to be optimistic. You can be pessimistic if you want. 1.1 is going to have two things. Going to have something called Nemesis, something called Harbinger. There will be a pinnacle boss encounter.
Do you remember the patch before they announced the 1 year break?
No, remind me.
Perfect. That's my point. That's the kind of patch it's gonna be.
Rude. You think so?
I think it's too little, too late. To be honest with you, the people who care are already hyped about Path of Exile 2. The boogeyman has ran around the corner. There's footage.
Path of Exile 2 is going to be like
PvE.
2020, like end of 2025 or something? When is that?
The end. I mean, the end of this year is going to be the beta testing and all that. So, the time has gone. It is
Really?
the ship has sailed.
Playable beta, PoE 2.
The
End of
ship has
2024.
sailed. They have missed their opportunity because the biggest problem is, if you think about it, okay, how do you think Path of Exile is going to structure their expansions? Probably
Exactly the same?
exactly the opposite of the PoE expansions, right?
Oh,
Well,
right.
where is
Which
it
would
leave
put them on
time
the same
for-
cycle as Last Epoch, huh?
Technically, yeah.
Sure.
So you see the problem here.
Man, is that really going to happen?
Probably. That's why I was. It's why I was like so.
Yeah,
it's
it could.
Why were you so like negative when 1.0 was coming? It's like Dread. I was like, why were you saying like, oh, like the game's not ready for 1.0, yada yada yada. Like they shouldn't waste their release on this, yada yada yada. I'm like, well, because the Zeitgeist is right around the corner. Like you said, I don't think Ellie's gonna do awful in that regard. Like it's not gonna die. It's just gonna die spiritually for me in my heart. That's all.
Brutal. I was trying to end on a good note. I was trying to end
I
on
think
like,
the actual patch will be great. I just
Yeah.
think there'll be no one around to play it.
I'll be here. I'll play some video games.
I'll be here and you'll be here.
Yeah.
That's the thing, right? I was like I said, I do this out of love and passion. I don't do this for the paycheck. If I did this for the paycheck, I'd be playing Minecraft.
True.
Like,
And Fortnite somehow is still popping off.
Yeah, I'd make that kind of content. Although it would make it very hard for me to look in the mirror every day, but still.
You should take the mirror down, dude. Who needs
Take
that?
the mirror down.
Who needs that?
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't need to
love
look
that
myself.
thinking. Yeah, fuck yeah. Just take the mirror down.
I'm gonna go play
give
Subway
in your
Runner.
hatred. Casual gamers will be more important than the part of the community who checks YouTube and Reddit. Yeah. Well, the problem is all the casuals and all that. They're the ones that played the 40k ward builds and like the explosive trappers.
You think
funny.
so?
Yeah. Okay. All right. They don't know how to play the game.
So
What
are the casual gamers to you the ones who go on social media and find busted builds and copy them?
Yes.
Or are the
Yes.
casual gamers the ones who just pick up the game and click start and play?
Okay, there's two kinds of casuals. Okay, there's two. Okay, there's the one that plays the video game and doesn't even finish the campaign, and then goes on and does something else and plays like Destiny 2 or something, again, right? Then there's the other casual that plays Shaman, gets into empowered monoliths, realize everyone calls Shaman bad, and then looks up a video on YouTube, best last Epoch build. They'll find one that has 100,000 ward, and then they'll copy that, and then they'll only have 2k ward, and then complain about it, and then quit the game.
I do like complaining.
And then after their success of their build that does 1 billion damage because EHG forgot to like make something not stack, what will happen is they will go and they will try to make their own build and then do absolutely terribly at it and fail completely.
True.
You know how I know this? Because it's literally in the Discord every single fucking day. Like, I'll
It
be
is.
checking
Are
it
you?
every
Are you're
Chicago.
still checking the official Discord, right? I'm always in there. I'm always reading.
Where do you think I find all the tech? I gotta yoink it.
Yoink.
Come on. It's like the other day I yoinked the volcanic orb tech from Beanishal because I'll be honest, I didn't even mess with the explosive explosive area nodes, mainly because I didn't want to until they fixed it so it actually had the area tag, but they never got around to doing that. So
Or does it not? That's strange.
it does not have it. So either it's not supposed to have it, which is completely understandable because it does an insane amount of damage, or it's supposed to have it and it's just bugged, and then like they just forgot to fix it.
It
and
should
it's
have
going to
it.
be way significantly better than it is now. But who knows?
Because you can scale like how big the area is.
Yes, and you can make the overlaps bigger.
Oh, the overlaps.
Yes,
Shotgun.
the overlaps would be absolutely insane. It already does an absolutely insane amount of damage.
Interesting. I remember the charge ground, or not the charge ground stuff. It was called the explosive ground from Volcanic Orb. Was a relevant piece of conversation during one of the Volcanic Orb tournaments that used to happen a long time ago. It's kind of circling back to what something here, somebody in Twitch chat live said. He's bringing up the Vision tournaments. Vision GL is another Twitch streamer who used to run community events all the time, but they've been made impossible to host because of basically like
Yeah,
the
I know.
solo compound
Yes.
stuff and whatnot. But hopefully we'll be getting those back eventually.
I'm surprised at how much of a problem it's been to get that to work.
I think they're coming back. It's there's been a lot of bugs that go along with it. Like, of course, every time that someone finds a bug that will like get in the way of Vision being able to host one of those tournaments, Vision's like, well, do I ban the bug, or do I like, because you can't. So one of the bugs for a while there, I don't know if the bug is still there, but one of the bugs is like you can like literally skip the campaign. Yeah, you can get access to every waypoint as a solo player.
Really? You can
Yeah.
do that?
And like that was a thing. I don't know if it's been
Like,
fixed, quite frankly.
How'd they do it?
I have no idea. But it's an example of the kinds of bugs that prevented Vision from like
Oh,
actually
that's
hosting this
fun.
tournament. Because like if one person does that, like they're just at a tremendous
it
advantage over
ruins
anyone
the
else.
Yeah, ruins.
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, exactly.
It's like, God,
obviously.
Yeah, those races were so much fucking fun, and like EHD liked watching them. So we'll get them back at some point. But for me, that's sufficient content because it allows me to talk about the game and maybe help host those tournaments or help publicize them, popularize them.
I've been wanting to do stuff like that for a while now, but
Yeah, they're
it's
so
never
good.
gotten to the point where it doesn't matter. My
kinda waiting.
enthusiasm kind of dropped off a cliff.
Just gonna wait and see.
recently,
So you and I have a couple of podcast episodes that are actually coming up because we
yes.
have one guest who we specifically want to have on the podcast, and I'm genuinely looking forward to that.
I'm looking
and then
forward to it as well.
We will talk about on a subsequent podcast. We'll talk about like spoilers coming up for 1.1. We'll talk about all the sweet Forge Guard builds we want to play, or something. And
I mean, that one node is better than every single other Forge Guard node in the entire tree. So they did a good job on that one.
you mean
If
the
every
block
other
effect,
node-
the block effect thing?
Yes, that one
Yeah.
was amazing.
Yeah,
That
we'll
one
see.
was
We'll see.
amazing. That one's great.
Um,
That's how you make it work.
And then
right there.
we've been told Disintegrate is changing in some way.
Changing.
Yeah,
it's
so
like,
we can
Can you spot the difference between these two pictures? I love
so
that.
we
I
can
love
we can play some Disintegrate, and we know that
without the unique offhand.
that's what they told us. That's what they told us.
Yeah.
They said that the
But
interaction
they also told me like 2 years that I could play lunge as a damageable skill. And they lied to me.
they told us that the interaction between Ignivar's head and Gambler's Fallacy with like the crit stuff is going away. So
Yeah.
hopefully that happens next patch. That'd be sweet.
But they also this is also coming from the same people who reworked Serpent Strike. So who knows what they think is
Poor
viable is,
Serpent
so,
Strike.
Like
Holy
who really
shit.
knows what viable is, right?
Yeah.
Who knows?
And then you know what? So during
Actually saw. I don't know if you've been reading the Ask the Devs portion of the Discord.
I've been reading.
But Mike specifically has been getting really annoyed at people talking to him about corruption and stuff because
Good.
like yeah, it's been really funny. I don't like there was like one specific answer where he was really annoyed. He was just like done with it all. He's just like it's like 4-digit numbers is not what we're intending for, yada 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 yada. It was I'll have to find it for you. It was very
No,
entertaining.
that's so good. Like I often call Mike too good for this world, and
Oh,
having Mike finally get annoyed at someone just makes him feel more human. Like thank God, dude.
I'll find it.
Like you're actually just calling someone dumb. Like thank you for being a human like the rest of us. What a gay. What was I even saying? Who knows, dude? Oh, I know what I was saying. Here, let me finish my thought then. During the dev stream, Mike had everyone vote on which spoiler they wanted to hear about next, which means that he has spoilers for the following categories. He has a spoiler for base mage class, which is, I assume, the disintegrate stuff. He has a spoiler for Forge Guard, for Spellblade. He has more Spellblade spoilers. And then he also has a spoiler for the base Sentinel class. Not Forge Guard, but like base Sentinel. So like that could be Vengeance. It could be Lunge. It could be like, I don't know. It could be Warpath. It could be Javelin. Ooh, Javelin. But like something in the base.
Oh wait, is Javelin actually like getting fixed so it's useful outside of very specific niches?
Oh, we have no idea. But they said that something was changing. They said that they had a spoiler for the base Sentinel class.
I would like to throw a javelin and actually hit an enemy harder than a wet noodle.
You want to like scale throwing crit damage?
Yeah, like like you're supposed to.
Me too, buddy. No, javelin is for damage over time. Javelin's a damage over time skill.
It's great.
You're either dealing Holy Trail Javelin or you're dealing Electrified Javelin. Yeah. Ain't nobody out there playing crit Javelin.
You can do bleed.
Oh yeah, you know why bleed's good? I can tell you why bleed's good. Because it's damage over time. Yeah, exactly. I don't know about that crit Javelin stuff. I just don't know about that.
No, it's really bad right now.
Oh, when I say I don't know, so what I mean is I know.
The rework to throwing damage where it got flat damage. It completely nerfed the crap out of Javelin crit.
Why is that?
Because like the whole point of it was to use a spear to get like
all the flat,
which no longer is relevant.
I think if you asked like 60% of last Epoch people wouldn't even realize that that's a interaction. Yeah, if you use a spear, you get flat damage on your Yeah, why would reading?
They lie to me anyways. Why would
reading in my last Epoch?
Well, they lie to me anyways. Why would I read it?
It's true.
Shield Bash is getting reworked completely. Well, they're probably reworking it because they can't allow people to stun the bosses that people will be killing for only 2 weeks.
Oh my god, can we just like perma freeze with snap freeze the end game bosses? Well, God, I hope not.
They said that they're fixing that, but the problem is like, if there's a will, there's a way.
True.
But the thing is, do you really think people are gonna be able to figure it out in 2 weeks? Though that's a good question.
Yes.
2 weeks is a very short amount of time, especially people preparing for Path of Exile.
Here, this is a conversation.
Less people playing Elite next batch, right? Like it's gonna be like maybe 50,000, right?
They a conversation that I had recently was about the word pinnacle. And
I saw that.
The person that I was talking to and myself, we both agree, it kind of seems like the word pinnacle is just there to pander to Path of Exile players.
There's a reason why in every single video I use Path of Exile terminology. The overlap is so insanely large that I can do that and get away with it.
Yeah, but like, is it really pinnacle or is it just like slightly harder than what we have right now?
This has been a thing that we've had for like a long time. It's like, I'm playing a build that does damage in a circle. I'm playing RF. I'm playing like a throwing build that's scaling elemental damage. LE Buzzsaw. Like it really is just like it is that ingrained, and that's why this is such a problem for them to be releasing in such a small time frame, is because that's where all the hype comes from. It's like the same community. Like
God, you know what? Even saying that now, it reminds me a little bit of like Slormancer content. And like Slormancer is like
there's content on Slormancer. I'm like the only person who
right. But like every time that you, the person who I know who makes Slormancer content, makes a video for Slormancer, it's just like, oh, here's Ellie Buzzsaw and Slormancer, here's RF and Slormancer, and it's like, yeah, I suppose.
It's called marketing 101.
Oh, how'd you get so smart? What happened? How'd you do that? SMRT.
I don't know if it's about PoE, D4. No, it's 100% PoE. No, that is a PoE terminology word. They literally recently specifically renamed those bosses to pinnacle bosses because
Mm-hmm.
everyone kept calling them pinnacle bosses. That is Path of Exile
Yeah,
terminology 101.
Uber Boss is a Diablo reference, right?
Yeah, that's a Diablo reference, which PoE took as well. Funnily enough.
Bunch of copycats.
Ooh.
Oh, this whole genre of video games is
My problem
stuffed.
is it's going to be very unfortunate for you to log into day one on the like patch, and I'm just going to play a Falconer. I'm just going to delete the bosses with
You play
dive bomb.
Falcon? I'm trying to figure out what I want to play.
If I'm going to play for 2 weeks, I'm going to play something quick and explosive. I gotta get the stuff done quick.
What if there's a new Spark Charge build?
There's a new Spark Charge build. I hope
What?
they nerf that fucking offhand into the ground. I'm
Shut,
going to assume that's what
your
they're going
mouth.
to do.
Shut up.
I'm very close to assuming that that's what's going to happen.
No, they would
It's
never.
starting to become problematic.
My
Well,
Spark Charges.
we're scaling off it in too many directions, sir.
But they're gonna nerf Ward, right?
Yes, but it's still going to be good. Even if you gain 2,000, 3,000 ward, it's still going to be better than HP. You know that, right? They'd have to essentially remove it from the game to make it not useful.
Brutal.
You
What
could
do you
just
what do you
play a
think they're gonna
Twisted
do?
Heart build? Ward?
I love
No
how I
idea.
said that. I love how I said that we were gonna like go out on a high note and then we're just gonna like talk for like another 25
Well,
minutes.
I mean,
Fuck it.
no, this is good conversation stuff.
Content.
Like the thing is like what are they going to do with Ward? They have to redo the whole entire thing. And what's going to happen now is they're going to rework Ward. People are going to see they can't get to 10,000 anymore if they
10,000, like
rework it
100,000.
properly. If they can't, well, yeah, but like they're going to hopefully nerf it hard. I hope. If they don't, then like their pinnacle content screwed. But yeah, continuing on, essentially, the problem here is people are going to log in. They're going to see you can't get to 10,000 ward and cheese stuff anymore. And then they're going to uninstall the game and go look at the Path of Exile patch notes. So, like, they're in a very tough situation, man. Like, if they make people angry, people are just going to go do something else. Like, the Elden Ring DLC is coming out, bro. Like, even I want to go play that.
Should I play Elden Ring?
I mean,
Everyone loves it.
that's up
Best
to
game of the
you.
year. Best game ever released. Should I play it?
I'm going to play it because I like Dark Souls. If you don't like Dark Souls, then you shouldn't play it. But
I'm not too into it. We'll see. I might. I probably
But
won't.
yeah, it's like we're living in a market in today's like we're living in a world where today's market where like if someone doesn't like something about your game, they'll just go play something else, man.
Is that true?
Yeah,
I feel like there's a lot of people who just like play
I
the
have
game
the
anyways and then
numbers
just
to prove
bitch about it.
yeah, but that's like 1% of the people.
Sure.
Vocal minority.
I would
Not-
hope that people
the
will move on
casual-
and play something else
If
instead.
there's like the thing is like the problem is the people who would have that problem are also the same people that would solve it by just going and playing another game. That's the problem. Because the people who like like we just get used to it, they just go and play another game. It's just how it is. It's like I want to see you have
I would
fun,
call that
suffer.
I'd call it a good thing.
It is a good thing for them, not for the devs and
And the
us,
content creators.
technically. Yeah, it's not good for that. Yeah, like I said, like I said before, like Ellie's gonna do fine, just not for us.
Mm-hmm.
They can just watch some random person who's played last Epoch for 5 minutes, like delete the whole game with a explosive trap, and then they don't need us anymore, man.
But they want us. They want us, Dread.
No, by the time that they would want us, they're playing the Elden Ring DLC.
I'm gonna move up my my build contest, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Instead
Yeah,
of waiting
I would.
like a full week, I'm gonna do like a couple days after launch.
Yeah, I
Just
would
start
heavily
announcing the build
suggest doing
contest?
that so that
Yeah.
people are actually in it. Yes.
Gotta find
I
out
know
what's
I'm being insanely pessimistic, but like I'm being honest. That's because
Hey, I was
what
already
other
planning
game
on
this
doing that.
happened to? What happened to like the other game that did it? I think, it happened to Torchlight as well.
Torchlight Infinite.
Torchlight Infinite, yeah, because
Yeah.
they tried to do that shit where they like play into release a few days before, and this has actually happened to Last Epoch before. Like guys,
Wait, tell
does
me
anyone
about
remember?
the torchlight thing. I'm not familiar with the
Oh, okay. So
cycle.
essentially, what happened was they released a patch like maybe a week before like a Path of Exile expansion, and no one played it because obviously.
Hmm.
Uh, and the same thing happened to Last Epoch. Like, do you remember Rising Flames?
I don't know the names of patches.
See, that just proves my point. That,
What
like,
was Rising
you
Flame?
play just as much as I do, and like you don't even remember the fucking name of the patch.
What
That's the patch that Act One got reworked.
when when was that?
When the big Harrispax Orient got changed, and that was like the art for it. You know why no one remembers that? Because that was like a week or two before the official launch of Diablo 4. That's why
Um,
nobody remembers it.
I don't
Yeah,
remember it
like I
because it was
said.
like chapter 1 content. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I know.
I mean, it's beautiful. The new chapter 1's great, but like, I don't play the game to experience chapter
yeah.
1 over and over.
Wasn't it like the same patch that Rune Master came in? I can't remember now, to be honest. Even I
No,
can't
that was like
remember. Ugh.
Rings of Power or something.
Oh yeah, yeah. I can barely remember that patch other than Rune Master, to be honest.
Yeah, but now we got
still,
the Nemesis Harbinger patch. Ooh.
like I said, it probably will, like it will probably have the same fate. But it's just funny because like you forgetting about it like legitimately just proves my point about like what I'm getting at. Like I think like I'll be honest, like it would literally probably be better for EHG in the long run if they just delayed again, and it would be very negative from the player side. But the problem is people would forget and then remember LE exists, because like the thing is like people would be angry for like 5 minutes and then go play Path of Exile, and then they get tired of Path of Exile and be like, oh, I want a new game, and then LE would be like, hey, here's our patch, and then it'd be released, and then people would be happy and they'd completely forget about it.
I would hate for that to happen. That sounds
I would
atrocious.
hate for that to happen too, but that sounds like to be the like that's what I would do. Anyways.
Ugh. I hope not. I want to play some
Like I
fucking
would
Last
have
Epoch,
announced that
dude.
as soon as PoE announced their patch date.
Like, oh yeah,
Like,
we're delaying too. Bye.
yeah, I mean, like they have to play chicken because they're sharing the same audience.
Brutal. What if the patch is just like stellar?
The patch is stellar.
Yeah. What if
People-
what if Nemesis and Harbinger are just like, oh my god, this is so much fun.
As much, it's the same thing. Like this happens to YouTube videos too. The YouTube video could be the best thing since sliced bread, but if no one watches it in the beginning, then no one remembers it. Like like for instance, 99% of my work sometimes on a video happens to be on the thumbnail. Not because like the video isn't important, but because if people don't click on the video in the first place, all of your work in the video doesn't matter. And that's the same thing with the patch. If people only play for like a week, and like it doesn't like that's not enough time to like get a opinion about the patch, if that makes sense, or remember. Because like what'll happen is like, oh, this Ellie, like remember all the people like who actually like are like the audience in this regard, I'm gonna call them at this point, like the quote unquote audience, right? They're gonna be the people that finally get to a pinnacle boss a week in, and then go read the Path of Exile patch notes, and then preparing the Path of Exile starter, right? That's like the problem here. Like there are people that like I was like talking to a few in the Discord. There are people that like took like I think a week to get out of the campaign. Like that's the people that like EHG has to cater for, if that makes sense.
I'm gonna read a comment from Twitch chat because I think that they have a good perspective on what you're saying. They said, by this logic, no game should ever release close to Path of Exile. And like,
it's tiresome to listen to. I agree that no, like, well, the
but like,
thing is, like,
at some point, you just got to release the fucking game. And like,
I agree. I completely agree. I would have preferred if it was like a week ago or whatever. I don't know. It's just like I'm just saying that like for us specifically, this is what matters. For the person who watches or whatever, it doesn't matter at all. They get content through and through, right? But
you're okay. So you're not saying like Last
from
Epoch
our
should,
perspective,
okay,
this is
just from like Dread's perspective and Perry's perspective being content creator, right?
Yeah,
Gotcha.
Yeah, that's where
to
the
me
problem is, obviously.
I don't care.
Oh yeah,
I'm. It's just every time you talk about the YouTube algorithm,
the writing's on the wall as it is. Like I'm just being honest about it. That's all.
every time that you talk about the YouTube algorithm, I'm just like, think book. I do not care about the YouTube algorithm.
Well, I might not be doing that soon. I might just be editing for like big business and stuff here soon. So
yo, a big business.
Yeah, like I might actually be doing that eventually. Like I said, like this doesn't matter to me as well. If the next patch like falls flat on their face, like it doesn't really affect me much. I'm just gonna go do actual work, and it's like you know like I'm just being honest. Like that's why I'm being honest is because I have like technically if I had a vested interest in the next patch doing well, I would shut my trap and not talk about this at all. Because like technically like you know what would you call it? I guess not propaganda, censorship. I don't know what you would call it. Technically, you would not want to talk negatively about the game because you want people to come in as positively as possible, right? Technically,
Dread confirmed sellout. Get him.
If you really think about it, right?
Sure.
But yeah, it's like.
It's okay to be a sellout.
Mm-hmm.
Embrace it. This is fun. All right, so I'm gonna call it quits here because this has been a fun conversation. But I don't want to upload something that's 4 hours long, maybe just 2 hours long.
I will let you have fun with Swarmblade. By the way, how is that feeling after the change with Gathering
So
Storm
I wanted
stuff?
to try this out because I didn't do anything with like the Gathering Storm and like the rage / mana stuff.
I'd assumed it was a nerf.
Well,
that should not be working. That's a bug.
What's not working?
The mana to rage thing, that node that says mana and all that should not be working.
It should. It should work.
If it is, that's a bug.
No, this node here, damage per 10 current mana.
Yes,
that should work.
Be working with rage.
It should work with rage.
Should not be working with rage.
Rage is exactly the same as mana for all intents and purposes, except for this item right here.
That's absolutely fucking busted. Because couldn't you just stack mana?
Yeah, that's the fucking point.
Okay, like fine then. All right. All right. I'm sorry. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm used to every single thing that's good being bugged. Okay. All right. Like we're to this point where I automatically because
you just assume it's bugged.
He said that's not how it's supposed to work.
What? Yeah. No, it's supposed to work that way.
Well, I asked Mike and he said that's not how it's supposed to work. So I don't know who's right at this point.
He said that the damage per current mana is not supposed to work when you're transformed?
Yeah, because you don't have mana. You have 0 mana when you're transformed.
However, what Mike has said in the past is that for all intents and purposes, mana and rage are the exact same thing.
I agree, but I asked him. That's why I was curious.
Fucking Mike! Mike!
I told you, like that node is specifically meant for you to actually spend the mana because the problem is you have no mana. You have rage.
Well, no, I've got. Shut up.
Yeah, but you're not spending the mana though. You're not spending the
mana. Last Epoch. What a game, dude. I love this game. This game's great.
It's great. Yeah.
It's a great video.
It must be bugged. I mean, at this point, yeah.
Well, like we both.
The problem is people's expectations of what is good is absolutely out the fucking window right now.
Oh yeah, totally agree with you. Yeah, so the people who have played Last Epoch for like, since 1.0 or like maybe like a week or two before 1.0. That subset of people have no idea what the balance of the game is supposed to be. Completely out the window. Oh, it's so funny to talk to them. Because they come to Twitch chat too. And like those are the people who say like Shadow Daggers are garbage. And it's like, what? It's like, well, it's not Dive Bomb. It's not 100,000 ward. It's not like super tanky like Ghost Flame.
You were like forced to be on the Reddit as a moderator or whatever. Did you see the post about the guy complaining about Twisted Heart only giving him 2k ward?
Yes. Yeah. I totally saw it.
That's what I'm talking
Twisted
about.
Heart only gives you 2k ward. Is it bad? So I didn't look at their build because I wanted to keep some.
They went from 18k to 20k.
Right, but like, is there a chance that they were using an Exsanguinous?
Yeah, They might have.
They
Well,
might
they're
have.
a Rune Master, and Rune Master usually only has like 1k HP, which makes sense after the Twisted Heart nerf. It's
Yeah.
funny because recently I actually used a Twisted Heart on a build that didn't use the sacrifice at all because
Yeah.
it was 50% armor and like 20%
Sure.
HP and +1 and cast speed. Like that's better than my chest piece.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's good. Yeah. Like, so Misha's in chat right now. She said, I commented on that post. People were so clueless and they started downvoting. Yeah, so thank God, because I like when other people call out dumb comments. I don't want to be the person who call out dumb comments, but like I like when someone else does it because it makes me feel warm and fuzzy inside. But like I only get 2,000 ward from equipping this item. It's like, yeah, that's pretty good. Like, come on, dog. What are you talking about? There've been a series of posts on the subreddit recently saying like last epoch is garbage, it's never gonna recover. And it's like, well, why are you being so negative? Would you have nothing else to do with your time than like make fun of player numbers?
Well, that's the thing. Like when I talk about this stuff, I'm not even talking about player numbers. I'm talking about stuff from my side, like my analytics and stuff.
Sure.
And it's like funny whenever I talk about this, right? Okay. Whenever I talk about this, I probably have like significant, like multiple magnitudes more time played in the game than the people that are like calling me out for being negative. I'm like I'm not being negative because like I'm like I hate the game and I wanted to die. I'm being negative because like I'm going to assume there are certain things that are going to happen if things aren't changed.
There's a post recently, someone saying like last epoch has worse numbers than Grim Dawn. This game's dead. It's never gonna recover. So well, Grim Dawn, at the time of that posting, has a community event going on where there's an active player base for the game, and like last epoch has announced that nothing's gonna change until July. It's June. This is the perfect time not to play last
These people
epoch.
would not survive in like 2001 when you got like all your expansions in the mail.
Easier times. I miss stuff like that. Like you go to school and you're like, hey, has anyone beaten this level yet? Can you help me? Can you come over after class? I miss it.
If you really want some humor, you should watch the new Dragon Age trailer.
I don't know what that is.
Oh, good that you don't. You won't share the same trauma as me. It's fine.
All right. I'm gonna try to wrap up. I'm gonna try to. I promise. I promise. I'm trying to. Hold on. Dread, what games are you playing while you wait for 1.1?
Last Epoch.
He's a purist. He's too
well,
pure.
No, because I have videos to make because I have to upload like a very large amount of them in a 2-week period, and I have to work beforehand for it.
So
because,
before,
like I said, it's a very time sensitive.
So you're recording content now before the patch notes.
No, I'm researching builds now.
Oh, interesting.
I'm playing a bunch of builds in solo account now, trying to figure out builds I want to start for next patch because I only have 2 weeks to work on things, so I need to play something good that isn't going to get nerfed. So I have to make a bunch of different builds and see which one doesn't get nerfed. We're playing.
I'm gonna play Forge Guard. I'm gonna play some garbage.
Yeah. Well, I'm probably going to end up playing a Falconer anyways, because I very doubt that EHG will nerf it into the ground to the point where it's unplayable. Specifically, if they don't touch Shadow Daggers, because apparently it's bad.
Please buff Shadow Daggers. God, what if they do? What if they buff it? What if they like make it? What would be the easiest way to apply a Shadow Dagger?
Oh, so what we're gonna do? And I can say this with confidence because I severely doubt this will get nerfed.
What's the absolute easiest way that they could put Shadow Daggers to make them OP?
Make them OP?
Yeah.
Leave them how they are because Umbral Blades is really strong. Just nerf everything else around it that was bugged. Like Shadow Daggers is good because it's good. It's not good because it's bugged, right? They could just nerf all the bug stuff, and all of a sudden Shadow Daggers back on the top.
Okay.
Like, Shadow Daggers is like one of the strongest ethical builds.
Where the fuck are we in Last Epoch where we're calling Shadow Daggers ethical?
Well, there's no bugs involved, is there?
We'll see. We'll see.
Oh, is there bugs with Shadow Daggers?
I have no idea. I'm waiting patiently.
Please, for the love of God.
No, I'm just
Okay.
I'm just waiting patiently.
So what you do is you
Go on.
just play Smoke Bomb,
Yeah,
turn it into
sure.
a traversal skill,
Sure.
use the bow that gives you 2 charges,
Sure.
and then you run the node on Dive Bomb that extends your Smoke Bomb, and then you get around that stupid little problem where like, your Shadow Dagger application rate isn't fast enough to extend the duration. You just play that, and then you just zoom through the entire
So you're gonna
game
you're gonna
and then
play
have
Shadow
fun.
Dagger bow puncture stuff
Marksman.
again?
Marksman. Yes, but then you use the traps, which apply shadow daggers at triple the rate than before on a single target, plus all your smoke bombs, which will be absolutely insane. But no one knows this build's existence because they're all busy playing Dive Bomb because it's significantly better.
They're all filthy dive bomb gamers.
Well, no, the thing is, my build requires Dive Bomb, so I'll be a Dive Bomb gamer. I'll just
Oh,
be an
you will
ethical
be. You
Dive
will
Bomb
be. Okay, okay,
gamer.
okay. Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen. I asked you what game you were playing
Mm-hmm.
while you were waiting for
I was
1.0.
joking, by the way. I've been playing Stellaris.
Gotcha. I wanna mention 2 games. One that I've done some YouTube videos for, and one that I haven't. I'm just gonna mention these 2 games just in case people in chat haven't heard of them, because they're both absolutely amazing games. One is Inscription. You ever played that game?
I've heard of it.
Fucking don't look at me. Don't look at any spoilers. Play it. It'll take you like
Okay.
2 play sessions to get through the game. 2 days worth of streaming.
Okay.
Phenomenal game.
Pug.
Do not look up spoilers. Ban spoilers in your Twitch chat.
I mean, I'm not streaming it, so
Just play it for fun. Oh my god, playing games for fun. You're gonna love that game. Yeah, real good one. The second one, honorable mention this game. It's like a Korean game with like 0 marketing, and I only know about it because Steam recommended it to me in my Steam discovery queue. It's called Chrono Arc.
Oh yeah, I've seen you play that. It's
That
interesting.
game, it's got a lot of
Stormancer should be
reading.
getting an update soon.
Boo, Slowmancer. Yay,
It's
Chrono
going to
Arc.
be one of the biggest balance updates they've ever had. So
Wow.
they're essentially rebalancing the entire game. They've also added a bunch of shit since the last time you played.
I might play it again. I don't know. My
Also,
issue
1.0
with
might come
Slowmancer
soon.
is like I don't want to start from where I started last time.
Yeah.
I want to do a fresh save,
Mhm.
but like the beginning of a fresh save sucks.
They fixed a lot of that.
They did. Ooh, maybe I
Yes,
will play some Slowmancer.
It's much better.
Maybe
It's a lot more fun. I would wait till after the balance update though, or you
Maybe.
can just wait for 1.0. Although the
could, I
problem
could.
is it might. I mean, to be honest, 1.0 might come out like later this year when after Ellie's 2 week showcase is done.
You're such a fucking downer.
Is it downer if it's true?
We'll see. We'll see. I don't know. Definitely pessimistic. But like, surely there are people out
Are
there
you
like
s-
me.
Okay.
But like,
alright.
I have a large interest in Last Epoch. But like,
You
I'm
say
not.
that like as if I'm not gonna play it. Like that like I'm gonna keep playing Ellie even after the 2 weeks are done.
Sure, but like,
And because
there
I work
there
for
must
PoE
be
people, I can play LE while working on PoE.
there must be people out there like me who would like Last Epoch and don't want to play Path of Exile. And
Yes.
there's no way I'm like the
And-
only fucking person.
And the thing is, there's gonna be like 20 people in Twitch chat. They're gonna say it, and then the day of that comes, there's gonna be like 1,000 people playing LE. So.
That's fine.
It's funny how people put stress so much importance on player numbers, and some of the best games I've ever played have like low player numbers because they're not meant for that.
Oh, Chrono Arc
Like,
has
player
like no
numbers
fucking
matter
player
way
numbers.
more for exec. Like it's so weird seeing so many people like
Talking about like CEOs, executives,
like,
whatnot.
no, it's so weird seeing normal people talk about player numbers like there's executives or whatever.
Yeah,
their
yeah.
raises are dependent on if the game does well or not.
Mhm.
Like Ellie is currently in the state if you don't play Merchant's Guild, you're not going to be affected much by other people playing it or not,
Mhm.
right? Other than a sense of community, right?
Mhm.
Other than that, obviously, like it's funny because like I'll be honest, like multiplayer in Last Epoch so kind of sucks. So like you're better off just playing it by yourself.
I'm so happy and cozy being a COF gamer.
I'm
Oh,
playing a
F.
bunch of COF because I can't play Merchant's Guild on a fresh start practice, which is great because I can, relive the mantra of I play COF, therefore I have no gear, and that will legitimize my builds and make them more flashy for all the MG people. Because like if it works in COF in 2 days, then it'll definitely work in MG.
Merchants Guild and COF are literally different video games.
I know they are. It's funny that they thought that they could balance both of them.
It's like, can you imagine just like fucking buying what you want? I've got 27 million gold. What am I supposed to do with that?
All it does is just raise your minimum corruption value. It really doesn't change the game much. You're still looking through boundless amounts of UI trying to play the video game. So, like, I've been playing COF enough to realize that no, the UI thing is not just an MG thing. It's a COF thing too. Like, it's just a game problem. It's just an overarching game problem. Like when I'm playing seriously and I'm trying to like actually min-max, I spend sometimes more time looking at UI than playing the game.
I hate it. It reminds me of looking up item prices and like selling stuff on PoE.
It's like if you take the time where you look at UI from outside sources like PoE, where like it's on the trade website or the wiki, and you move it in game, that doesn't really fix the problem. It just moves it. It just moves the problem, and I hope that they realize that. It just delays the issue.
So what's? Oh fuck!
What?
Oh my god! I almost died. Whew. What's what's your first build that you want to take to the endgame boss?
Shadow Dagger Falconer, probably.
Shadow Dagger Falconer. Look at this. I was thinking about like maybe this kind of thing.
Yeah, that would work. So
it's got a lot of dodge, got a lot of armor.
Yeah, but the problem is you've seen Last Epoch recently. They've been adding a bunch of damage over time to everything.
True.
If they want to make a boss hard, they won't actually invest in mechanics. They'll just add a bunch of damage over time to it. Like look at Jurla. Look at like T4 Soulfire Bastion.
So you think
look
just
at
like
the undodgeable entangling roots in the mountain below. If they want to make something hard, they'll just make it a damage over time.
That like ward's not good against damage over time.
It is if you have 40,000 of it.
We'll see how much ward you get left.
Oh yeah, and it's like the thing is like for this specifically, okay, when it comes to the damage over time thing, it makes it so that when you're pushing corruption, the most dangerous things aren't even the things that hit you. It's the things that like put pools on you, like Gorgons or Osprix Raiders. Those are the most dangerous things, and you just
things that ignite you. Yeah.
That's why people with HP don't push up high corruption, while people with ward push up high, because they have a very large amount of numbers on their side. Damage over time is a real killer right now. It is essentially the stopgap for a lot of builds.
So you think that if somebody wants to do the new boss on like day 2 of the new 1.1, they should think about damage over time mitigation?
No, they should just kill the boss before it has any time to do anything.
So just giga DPS.
Yeah, they should just delete the boss, because I severely doubt EHG's ability to nerf Dive Bomb to the point where it's unusable.
I'll quote you on that. All right, can't wait to see how it ends up. Listen, I'll talk to you more about the potential rebranding stuff, because I do kind of like the idea. We'll see how it goes. We'll see if it goes anywhere. All right. That's it. Talk for about an hour or so. I'm gonna put this on YouTube. See how YouTube's feeling about Last Epoch these days. I'll see you later, dude.
See ya.